So just to take it back to the beginning, basically, you obviously, like you said, you're a psychiatrist, social worker, psychiatric social worker.
Right.
How long were you in that profession? Well, sorry, how long have you been?
Boy, let's see. I have to think about that. About 30 years.
30 years. Okay. So I was 5 when you started. That's good innings. That's good. So the decision to buy a ranch, was this a childhood dream that you had, or was this something that came later in your life?
I have always loved horses, and I grew up in a north suburb of Chicago, Illinois, and really they didn't have too many horses around there. It was kind of an urban setting, and as a kid, I watched the Lone Ranger and all the cowboy movies, and I thought someday I'm going to have a ranch, I'm going to have horses, and it'll be awesome. And so I saved up my money, from the time I was a little kid. I mean, I got, jobs, at the golf courses, caddying for people. And, I delivered newspapers in the morning and in the evening, and washed cars, and, did anything I could for a buck, to try to put away the money. And finally, I decided to move out to Arizona. That was in 1984. And, I went to Arizona State University and got my degrees, and then decided to buy the ranch. And, Joyce and I, we had gotten married, and we had looked and looked and looked for a place that we could afford where we could, have horses. And this was about the only place at the time that we could afford. I mean, we traveled all over the Southwest, the Northwest. We went everywhere. And it was just, we couldn't find anything that had the right facilities and was within our budget. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this place just showed up. And we drove out there to look at it, and I saw it, and I went, that's it, I want it.
Were there any nearby ranches that were for sale but not in the price range?
No, there was nothing out here. That was one of the reasons I liked it, is that it was totally isolated. I mean, we're in the middle, originally we were in the middle of probably 500,000 acres of wild desert. I mean, you can drive almost at the time, you could drive between 10 and 20 miles in any direction and never see another person.
That sounds like heaven.
It was awesome. I mean, and, Arizona kind of looks like the moon anyway. I mean, it's got all these, hills and little mountains and stuff like that. Lots of weird stuff. I mean, for a guy from the Midwest to be looking at all this, I looked at it and I went, wow, I'm on the moon, but I can breathe.
Yeah, it's almost got that kind of Total Recall Mars.
Aliens. So you basically, from what we've read and what we've seen on the internet and TV, you bought this ranch, and then you showed up, and there was still the belongings of the people who had lived there previously. Did you have any dealings with the people that lived there previously when you bought it from them?
Very, very little. They were a couple that had worked out at Luke Air Force Base, which is a major Air Force base out here. And I guess that should have given me a clue right there that maybe something was up. But I was so innocent to this whole thing. I'd never bought a house before. I had no clue. I thought, hey, I'm buying my dream property, and it's going to be very cool, and I'm going to get horses. And I really was kind of innocent about the whole thing. I had no idea. And the interesting thing about it was my wife worked for the FBI at the time. And, she I guess she had like her spidey sense, Spider-Man sense. And she just told me, she looked at me and she gave me the dirtiest look and told me, she goes, not in a million years, we cannot buy this place.